Wrapping things up on Big Ten today, USC outside the top 100 nationally in total defense in Lincoln Riley's first two seasons there. Made an offseason move to Danton Lynn, and it has paid off. The Trojans allowing nearly 2 touchdowns fewer than a season ago, doing a far better job getting off the field on third down as well. And that total D number is now well within the top 100. They are 62nd nationally. It is a nice jumping off point for our new coordinators making an impact at Big Ten schools. Danton Lynn has done a nice job.
Man, what a great hire, and we wondered how quick the turnaround would be. And when you think about coaching, the fundamentals is what really stands out. I mean, last year, their zone coverage integrity was terrible. They couldn't tackle. Their gap integrity wasn't there, and that's why they were so poor on that side of the football. A good coach cleans all of that stuff up. He gets his defense playing fundamentally sound. They're not a top 10 defense in college football, but if you understand the journey they've had to take to go from last year to this year, you have to give a ton of credit to Danton Lynn.
Yeah, I know folks may look and say, well, Penn State just dropped 33. They've already lost 3 games this year. What he took over and what he had to improve upon, I mean, you read the numbers. That was horrific defense a year ago, and their tackling was even worse than the overall defensive numbers. They have clearly improved in both of those areas. Let's stay out west. Steve Belichick, I know, is not very happy with the last performance when Iowa ran over Washington and the Huskies gave up 40 points. But overall, this has been a pretty stout unit.
Yeah, they don't have a ton of first-rounders on that side of the football either. And for Steve Belichick to come from an NFL system where you have all the time and the resources to teach, I was interested to see what he would do in a college system when you're limited by NCAA rules and these guys have to take classes. They've been extremely fundamentally sound for the majority of this season. They won the game versus Michigan, the way that defense played. Yes, Iowa aside, like that's more of the outlier than the standard they've played this year. He's got that unit, which is full of transfers and newcomers playing good football. Washington, their identity, the past decade has been offensive football. The defense has stood out to me.
Really done a nice job. We mentioned Andy Kotelnicki a little bit earlier in the show. He's certainly gotten a lot of publicity and justifiably this year. How about the impact the Penn State offensive coordinator's made?
Yeah, you said this too, right? We're looking at maybe the hire of the offseason, whether it's Chip Kelly or Kotelnicki. Gosh, almost a similar jump to what Danton Lynn did with USC's defense that Kotelnicki has done with Penn State's offense. He has unlocked explosion that was just simply not there last year. Drew Aller, the 5-star, the NFL body type, all the talent in the world. He's unlocked a new level. And then the big piece of it is the creativity. Like that's why you hire a guy like Kotelnicki. That's why you pay him what you pay him. You could just look at how he used Tyler Warren. Clearly their best weapon. It's on the play caller to put him in positions to succeed. He's checked every box, and the run game has been dominant as well.
Speaking of offensive play callers, what do you make of Tim Lester? Dave shared 30-plus points 3 times already?
Four times. Yes.
Already this year for Iowa, something we just didn't see much of in the last couple of years. Still can't really throw it, but they are scoring points.
Right, that's been the constant. They haven't been able to throw it for a few years now. But Tim Lester has allowed them to find an identity running the football. Caleb Johnson was there last year, right? We just didn't see this level of production. And a big piece of this too is you talk about the offensive line play, Dave. It's on the offensive coordinator to put those guys in a position to succeed. They have an identity now, and that's why they've been able to put up 30 points a game.
Well, not just a new coordinator at Indiana, they have an entirely new staff, so you could go just about anywhere with this, but I know the offensive side has stood out to you in particular.
Number 1 in total offense, number 1 in scoring, number 1 in passing. And again, like there's not first rounders on this all over the field for Indiana, but they're playing fundamentally sound team football, passing the ball underneath, over the top, running the football. The offensive line has been stout. He's been impressive.
Lastly, quickly, Chip Kelly, a lot of money, but a big impact.
Right, and what a luxury to have a great offensive mind with all of those weapons around him, and he's done a good job. There's only one football, but he's keeping everybody happy. The Buckeyes are certainly dangerous.
Speaking of great coaching minds, tomorrow, Dave Wanstedt, Jerry DiNardo.
I was wondering where you were going.
Friday edition of Big Ten Today. We will see you then.